Millions walk these sidewalks, chasing fleeting fortunes, completely oblivious to the ruthless psychological engineering surrounding them. Before this journey ends, you will stand on a restricted, elevated stone balcony looking directly down into the neon canyon. A view kept entirely secret from the crowds below. To survive this sprawling $4 billion adult empire without burning out requires parsing the architecture of illusion from the harsh reality of the Nevada desert. The ultimate Las Vegas Strip travel guide begins now. As evening settles over Las Vegas Boulevard, the desert heat surrenders to a strictly choreographed sea of light, luxury, and thousands of travelers. Walking south, the architectural strategy becomes clear. You are navigating a compressed, hyperreal replica of the world. Right outside Caesars, they've meticulously recreated Rome's famous Trevi Fountain. Now, if you want to see what the real thing looks like in Italy, WorldWithWife has you covered. Check out our cinematic Rome guide. We've dropped the link right up here in the cards and down in the description below. Do you know how did this lonely stretch of Highway 91 evolve into a global phenomenon? In the early 1930s, this was nothing more than a lonely railroad outpost. The legalization of gambling in 1931, fueled by an influx of workers building the nearby Hoover Dam, permanently altered the trajectory of Nevada. By the 1950s, backed by infamous syndicates and mob figures like Bugsy Siegel, the first luxury resort casinos rose from the dust. Today, the resort corridor spans exactly 4.2 miles, sitting at an elevation of 2,000 feet. Arriving is uniquely effortless, with Harry Reid International Airport positioned practically adjacent to the boulevard. Yet, survival here is a delicate psychological balance. To truly absorb the engineering without succumbing to sensory exhaustion requires a strictly regimented 3 to 4 days. Any less, you miss the architectural marvels. Any more, the relentless stimulation becomes paralyzing. But understanding the true scale of Las Vegas requires stepping inside the empire that started the modern mega-resort era. Built in 1966 by Jay Sarno, Caesar's Palace was designed with a singular psychological goal: to make every guest feel like an undisputed Roman emperor. That original $24 million investment has now metastasized into an absolute fortress of nearly 4,000 rooms. room rates violently fluctuate from $80 on a quiet weekday to over $500 during a fight night, deliberately excluding mandatory resort fees. But the real cost of Las Vegas isn't found in the hotel room. It is found in the inescapable labyrinths designed to keep you trapped indoors. But why do people keep coming despite the cost? Because Vegas sells an illusion. The ultimate escape where, just maybe, your dreams might come true. And Caesars isn't alone to sell the Vegas dream. The Strip is ruled by legendary casino giants like the Bellagio, MGM Grand, and Wynn. These aren't just hotels. They're self-contained ecosystems designed to keep you inside, moving from the slot machines to world-class dining. Before you pack your bags, you need to understand the desert climate. Most tourists assume it's always blistering hot. It isn't. If you visit between December and February, it gets genuinely cold, dropping down to 4 degrees Celsius at night with biting winds. Conversely, summer is brutal. July regularly sees temperatures soaring past 41 degrees Celsius. You might wonder, who owns all of this? Well, the modern Strip is a corporate duopoly dominated by two titans. They are MGM Resorts International and Caesars Entertainment. Together, they control the vast majority of the properties you see. So, is this the biggest gambling hub on Earth? Financially, no. Macau surpassed Las Vegas years ago in sheer gaming revenue. However, in terms of pure entertainment, pop culture impact, and nonstop nightlife vibrancy, Las Vegas remains the undisputed champion of the world. We've now made our way to one of the most iconic coordinates on Earth, the Bellagio. Opened in 1998 by Steve Wynn for a record-breaking $1.6 billion. It is currently operated by MGM Resorts. Step outside onto the main boulevard at night, and the ambience completely transforms. The lighting is spectacular, casting deep gold and blue hues onto the massive 8.5-acre man-made lake. Directly opposite us, the Eiffel Tower of Paris, Las Vegas cuts through the night sky. This is a stunning half-scale replica of the French icon. Next to it stands a beautiful recreation of the Arc de Triomphe, which you'll see a bit later on in this video. The energy here is electric. Supercars and sports cars zoom down the boulevard. Music echoes from open-air bars, and the crowd feels like one massive, collective party. It's crowded, yes, but it feels surprisingly orderly and safe. The actual official city of Las Vegas is relatively small, spanning about 142 square miles, with a population of less than 700,000. And this is the ultimate fun fact. The famous Las Vegas Strip is not actually in the city of Las Vegas. It sits just outside the city borders in an unincorporated township called Paradise, in Nevada. The official resort corridor of the Las Vegas Strip is exactly 4.2 miles, stretching from the stratosphere at the north end down to the Mandalay Bay at the south end. Can you walk it? Yes, but it is notoriously deceptive. Because the mega resorts like Caesar's Palace or the Venetian are so colossal, they look like they are right next door to each other. In reality, walking from one casino entrance through the massive gaming floor, across a pedestrian bridge, and into the next hotel can easily take 20 to 30 minutes and add 2,000 steps to your pedometer. To navigate this massive crowds safely, Vegas utilizes an expansive network of pedestrian skywalkways. This particular bridge connects Planet Hollywood to surrounding shopping complexes and neighboring resorts. Walking up here gives you a magnificent elevated view of the Neon Canyon. It's the perfect way to absorb the scale of the city without dealing with the street-level traffic. By this point, all the walking caught up to us, and we were hunting for dinner. Vegas is a world-class culinary capital. You can find everything from $10 food court eats to 3 Michelin star fine dining on every single block. However, for anything popular or high-end, like the Hell's Kitchen or the Eiffel Tower restaurant, reservations are mandatory weeks in advance. Walk-ins at prime dinner hours, around 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., often result in massive wait times. We spotted a massive Bubba Gump Shrimp Company sign and decided to head inside for a classic American experience. This is honestly one of the largest Bubba Gump locations we've ever seen. Inspired, of course, by the legendary movie Forrest Gump, the vibe here is incredibly fun and nostalgic. The Las Vegas location on the Strip is an absolute monster of a restaurant, spanning over 10,000 square feet. If you visit, you have to try their signature forest seafood feast or the classic coconut shrimp. It's comforting, hearty, and exactly what you need after miles of walking. Launched in 1996 in Monterey, California, by Paramount Pictures, following the massive 1994 success of Forrest Gump, the restaurant brings the movie's fictional shrimp company to life. Stepping out after a fantastic dinner, we found ourselves instantly reabsorbed into the living, breathing organism that is the Las Vegas Strip at night. If you think the city is busy at sunset, wait until the clock strikes 12. The sidewalks don't just grow thicker, and they turn into a massive, slow-moving sea of people. Every few yards, a different layer of audio hits your ears. Classic rock cover band scream from open-air casino bars. Electronic dance, music-heavy bass rattles from passing party buses, and talented street musicians. The architectural lighting here is nothing short of majestic. As we pushed our way past Harrah's and the towering Roman arches of the Forum shops, we had to stop just to look up. Billions of dollars of engineering are dedicated purely to painting these facades in brilliant golds, royal purples, and sapphire blues. The sheer scale makes you feel completely microscopic. By the time we finally saw the familiar entrance of our hotel near the Venetian, our feet were throbbing and our senses were completely maxed out. The next morning, we picked up right where we left off, heading towards the northern side of the Strip to explore the Venetian and its sister property, the Palazzo. Built in 1999 on the historic site of the Old Sands Hotel, the Venetian cost $1.5 billion to construct. And just like its sister resort in Macau, the attention to detail here is breathtaking. Step inside, and you're instantly transported to Italy. Look at these magnificent ceiling works, meticulously designed to evoke the Italian Renaissance. As you walk further inside, the Venetian seamlessly connects to the Palazzo via the Grand Canal shops. The transition is completely indoor, meaning you can walk between these massive properties while staying perfectly air-conditioned. Shopping in Las Vegas isn't just a casual afternoon activity. Instead, think of it as a full-contact sport. The city boasts some of the highest-grossing retail real estate on the planet. But what makes it truly fascinating is how it stacks up on a global scale. If you travel to Singapore, luxury shopping is defined by Marina Bay Sands. There, the experience is sleek, hypermodern, and intensely streamlined. A multi-level glass and steel monolith where the world's elite browse pristine storefronts under one architectural roof. If you head over to Macau, the retail landscape is completely dominated by mega resorts designed for ultra-high net worth VIP gamblers, where privacy and staggering opulence take precedence over everything else. But Las Vegas? Vegas does something entirely different. It pioneers the art of experiential storytelling. Where else on earth can you step off a chaotic, sun-baked desert sidewalk, cross a threshold, and instantly find yourself browsing a premier Prada or Gucci boutique? All this while a professional gondolier serenades you in classical Italian beneath a realistically painted, perpetually perfect twilight sky. The Grand Canal shops and the interconnected Palazzo malls stretch across nearly 500,000 square feet, housing over 160 signature stores. The engineering required to maintain this absolute illusion, from the climate-controlled indoor air to the acoustic dampening that keeps the echo of thousands of tourists at bay, is mind-boggling. And talking about illusions, this structure that feels like it dropped straight out of the year 2099. Welcome to the absolute pinnacle of modern entertainment, the Sphere. Opened in late September 2023 after years of anticipation, this structural marvel shook the architectural world to its absolute core. It didn't just break records. It rewrote the rules of what an entertainment venue could be. The Sphere stands an imposing 366 feet tall and spans 516 feet wide, making it officially the largest spherical structure on the face of the Earth. And it cost a mind-blowing $2.3 billion to complete. As our final night in Vegas progressed, we crossed past the wind's stunning Lake of Dreams, taking the upper pedestrian walkway across the asphalt straight into Treasure Island. Right out front, you'll find their famous historic pirate ship display, a nostalgic throwback to the 1990s, when the Strip tried to rebrand itself as a family-friendly destination. But as the night winds down, there is one more thing we want to show you. To find it, we need to head back inside the Venetian. If you want to capture the absolute best photos of your trip without hundreds of strangers photobombing your shot, you need to know where to look. Most tourists spend all their time down at street level on the crowded sidewalks. Huge mistake. Instead, head up to the second floor of the Grand Canal shops and look for the doors leading out to the upper outdoor balconies. Hardly anyone comes up here at night. The architecture features stunning, hand-carved stone arches and romantic, softly lit corridors that evoke old-world Venice. From these elevated stone lodges, you get an uninterrupted, panoramic view looking straight down at the neon canyon of Las Vegas Boulevard and the shimmering waters below. It is the ultimate hidden sanctuary for video and photography. But before we make our way back down to the famous waters of the Bellagio, we have to make a vital stop right next door at a retail empire that completely redefined the concept of a modern shopping mall. This is the Forum Shops at Caesars. Spanning an incredible 675,000 square feet over 3 massive levels. It's an opulent, hyper-themed Roman city. The moment you step into the grand atrium, your eyes are immediately pulled toward the center of the room. For decades, it held the crown as the highest-grossing shopping mall in the entire United States. In sales per square foot, this is one of the most unique and expensive engineering marvels on the Strip. But now the clock is ticking. We kept moving, making our way back to where our evening journey technically began. The Grand Lake of the Bellagio. And we timed it perfectly. It is arguably the most famous water show on Earth, But almost no one understands the mind-boggling mechanics operating just beneath the surface of this 8.5-acre man-made lake. The entire spectacle is a masterclass in fluid dynamics, perfectly synchronized down to the millisecond with the audio track. The lake holds 22 million gallons of water, and a dedicated team of 30 full-time maintenance engineers work daily to ensure it runs flawlessly. As the final water droplets from the Bellagio fountains fall back into the lake, we have to stop and answer the ultimate question about this desert oasis. Is Las Vegas actually a grand, multi-billion-dollar illusion? Is it completely overrated? Or is it truly the entertainment capital of the world? And my honest answer is, it's both. Vegas is a masterfully engineered spectacle. It's a place specifically designed to suspend your reality, to make you lose track of time, and to let you dream with your eyes wide open for a few unforgettable days. Whether you come here to marvel at the high-tech wizardry of a new sphere, or shop beneath an artificial Italian sky at the Venetian, it is a city that defies logic. It demands to be experienced in person, at least once in your life. Our footprints across the Las Vegas Strip are officially complete, and our bags are packed. But for WorldWithWife, this isn't where the adventure ends. In fact, the true journey is just getting started.